Deep in the void between stars, something ancient stirs. A vessel older than human civilization drifts through the darkness, carrying within its hull a horror that has consumed entire galaxies. Today, that vessel enters Earth's solar system, and two elite soldiers will discover that some doors should never be opened. Some mysteries should remain unsolved, and some species should never be awakened. This is the story of humanity's first contact with something far worse than extinction. The year is 2187. Earth's orbital defense network detects an anomaly at the edge of the solar system, a massive object decelerating from faster-than-light speeds with technology that shouldn't exist. The vessel registers on sensors as 17 kilometers long, constructed from materials that bend electromagnetic radiation in impossible ways. Its design defies every principle of known engineering, with organic curves that suggest growth rather than construction. Most disturbing of all, it's heading directly toward Earth. Within 6 hours of detection, the United Earth Command deploys its most elite response team, the Xenological Investigation Division. Commander Cale Voss leads this mission, a veteran of 23 deep space operations whose neural augmentations allow him to interface directly with alien technology. His cybernetic left arm, replacement for one lost during the Proxima Centauri incident, houses scanning equipment sophisticated enough to analyze molecular structures in real time. Lieutenant Mira Thorne serves as his second in command, a combat specialist whose genetic modifications grant her reflexes 3 times faster than baseline human and strength enough to crush steel with her bare hands. Her eyes, surgically enhanced with quantum processors, can perceive electromagnetic spectrums invisible to normal vision and track movement at superhuman speeds. Their transport ship, the UEC Harbinger, intercepts the alien vessel 30 million kilometers from Earth. What they discover through their viewport stops them cold. The alien ship isn't just massive, it's magnificent. Towers spiral upward from its hull like crystalline forests, while energy conduits pulse beneath translucent armor plating in patterns that suggest neural networks. This isn't just a spacecraft, it's a work of art created by minds far beyond human comprehension. Biosignatures? Cale asks as they approach the docking bay. Mira's enhanced vision penetrates the alien hull, searching for signs of life. Negative on the surface levels. But there's something deeper. Energy patterns that look almost like... She pauses, recalibrating her sensors. Like brainwave activity. Massive amounts of it. The alien vessel's docking bay opens without any communication from within, as if sensing their approach. Atmospheric readings show breathable air, Earth normal pressure, temperature stable at 21 degrees Celsius. Everything perfect for human habitation, which raises immediate red flags. Too convenient, Cale mutters as they don their combat armor. The powered exoskeletons enhance their already formidable abilities while providing life support and tactical data. Plasma rifles charge with distinctive whines as they prepare to board humanity's first confirmed alien spacecraft. The docking bay interior defies physics. Surfaces flow like liquid metal, but support their weight like solid steel. Lighting emanates from the walls themselves, pulsing in rhythm with something that sounds disturbingly like a heartbeat. The architecture suggests beings at least 3 meters tall, with proportions that indicate grace and intelligence beyond human experience. "Where is everyone?" Mira whispers as they advance through corridors wide enough to accommodate small aircraft. Their footsteps echo strangely, as if the ship itself is listening to their approach. Cale's augmented arm extends scanners that map the vessel's interior. What he discovers sends ice through his enhanced nervous system. Life signs are everywhere and nowhere. I'm detecting biological material throughout the ship's structure, but it's not discrete organisms. It's like the entire vessel is partially alive. They proceed deeper into the ship, following energy signatures toward what appears to be the command center. The corridors branch and merge in patterns that remind them uncomfortably of blood vessels or neural pathways. Organic growth spreads across surfaces like metallic moss, pulsing with bioluminescent patterns that seem to react to their presence. That's when they find the first body. The alien lies sprawled across what might have been a control console, its form both beautiful and disturbing. Standing nearly 4 meters tall, its elongated limbs suggest grace and power. The cranium is enlarged, indicating massive intelligence, while its features combine familiar elements with utterly foreign characteristics. But most unsettling are its eyes, wide open, staring at nothing, while something moves beneath the translucent skin of its throat. "Parasitic infestation," Mira breathes, her medical training recognizing the signs. Something's living inside it, Kale approaches cautiously, his scanners revealing the full horror of what they've discovered. The alien's nervous system has been completely overgrown by foreign organic material. Thread-like structures extend from the brainstem, connecting to similar growths throughout the ship. This being isn't just dead, it's been incorporated into some kind of biological network. "Commander," Mira's voice carries an edge of panic. "I'm detecting movement, multiple signatures converging on our position." They spin toward the sound of approaching footsteps, weapons raised. What emerges from the shadowy corridors makes them question their sanity. More aliens, dozens of them, moving with mechanical precision despite being obviously dead. Their eyes glow with sickly bioluminescence, and the organic growths beneath their skin pulse in synchronized patterns. Reanimated corpses controlled by parasitic organisms. Kale analyzes even as he opens fire. Plasma bolts tear through the advancing horde, but the beings continue moving despite catastrophic damage. Only direct hits to the head stop them, and even then, the parasitic growths continue writhing for several seconds. They fight a running battle through corridors that seem to shift and change around them. The ship itself is alive, responding to the will of whatever controls the parasitic network. Walls flow like liquid to block their retreat, while floors tilt to funnel them toward unseen destinations. "The ship's learning our tactics," Mira observes between bursts of plasma fire. Each wave is more coordinated than the last. They reach what appears to be the vessel's central nervous system, a vast chamber where thousands of the alien crew hang suspended in crystalline pods connected by organic cables. But these beings aren't dead. They're awake, aware, their eyes tracking the intruder's movement while their bodies remain paralyzed by the parasitic infection. They're still conscious, Kale realizes with horror, trapped inside their own bodies while something else controls them. That's when they hear it, a voice that speaks directly into their minds without using sound. The communication bypasses their ears entirely, appearing as pure thought colored by inhuman intelligence and malevolent purpose. "Welcome, young species. You arrive at an opportune moment to witness perfection." The voice comes from everywhere and nowhere, carried by the ship's biological network. In the center of the chamber, something that might once have been the vessel's captain floats in a pod filled with luminescent fluid. Its body has been grotesquely modified, extended with parasitic growths that connect it to every system on the ship. "We are the confluence, unity of purpose, harmony of thought, perfection of existence. Your primitive individualism will soon be corrected." "What happened to the original crew?" Mira demands, though she already suspects the answer. "They have been elevated, their consciousness incorporated into our collective wisdom. Their bodies serve the greater purpose of expansion across the cosmos. Images flood their minds, visions of the confluence's origin from a galaxy where individual thought was considered a disease to be cured. They see worlds consumed, entire civilizations absorbed into the hive-mind network, their unique cultures and perspectives ground down into homogeneous thought patterns. Your species shows promise. Strong bodies, creative minds, aggressive instincts perfectly suited for conversion. You will make excellent additions to our collective." The chamber fills with movement as hundreds of infected aliens descend from their pods, controlled by the parasitic network, but retaining their original species' formidable physical capabilities. Kyle and Mira find themselves surrounded by beings whose technology once spanned galaxies, now reduced to extensions of an alien will. The ship's heading for Earth, Kale realizes as his neural interface taps into the vessel's navigation systems. "Population 8 billion. If this infection spreads, Earth will become our newest garden, humanity our latest harvest. Your diversity will strengthen our collective while your numbers expand our reach to neighboring systems." They fight desperately through waves of infected aliens, each creature representing a unique species absorbed by the confluence during its journey across the cosmos. Warriors with crystalline armor, beings that phase through solid matter, creatures that manipulate gravity itself, all now serving the parasitic hive mind. Mira's enhanced speed keeps them alive as they navigate shifting corridors, while Kale's cybernetic arm hacks into the ship's organic computer systems. What he discovers in the vessel's memory banks reveals the true scope of the threat facing humanity. "This ship is one of thousands," he reports while plasma fire lights up the chamber around them. "The confluence has consumed 17 galaxies over the past million years. They don't just infect individuals, they preserve entire civilizations as permanent slaves." The infected beings press closer, herding them toward capture rather than death. The confluence wants them alive for conversion, which gives them a narrow tactical advantage, but also adds psychological horror to their situation. Resistance serves no purpose. the collective voice insists. Your thoughts will become our thoughts. Your experiences will enrich our understanding. Your bodies will serve our expansion. Submit, and the process will be painless. That's when Mira notices something the Confluence has overlooked in its arrogance. The ship's original crew, still conscious within their parasitic prisons, are trying to communicate. Their eyes blink in patterns. Their fingers move in subtle gestures, conveying information despite their inability to speak. They're giving us coordinates, she realizes, showing us the ship's weak points. The original aliens are fighting back the only way they can, by helping their potential successors avoid the same fate. Their sacrifice provides Kale and Mira with the intelligence needed to strike at the heart of the ship's biological systems. They battle through increasingly desperate circumstances toward the vessel's core processing center, where the Confluence's central intelligence coordinates its vast network. The journey becomes a nightmare of shifting architecture, regenerating corridors, and opponents that learn from every encounter. The closer we get to the core, the stronger the collective becomes, Kale observes, as reality itself seems to bend around them. It's using the ship's technology to create localized distortions in spacetime. The final chamber houses something that challenges their understanding of life itself. The Confluence's central processor isn't mechanical. It's a fusion of organic neural tissue and crystalline technology that spans dimensions. Thousands of species consciousness streams flow through structures that exist partially in normal space and partially in some unimaginable elsewhere. You have exceeded expectations, the collective admits as they stand before its core intelligence. Your species' capacity for violence and adaptation surpasses even our projections. You will make exceptional converts. But Kale's cybernetic systems have been analyzing the Confluence's network structure throughout their fight. What he's discovered gives them one chance at stopping the invasion before it begins. The network's strength is also its weakness, he explains to Mira while infected beings surround them. Every consciousness is connected to every other. A sufficiently powerful disruption could cascade through the entire system. What kind of disruption? Mira asks, though she suspects she won't like the answer. Kale's cybernetic arm extends interfaces that can link directly with the ship's organic systems. My neural augmentations operate on quantum frequencies that the Confluence network uses for communication. If I interface directly with their core processor, you'll be absorbed into the collective, Mira finishes. There has to be another way. But there isn't, and they both know it. The infected beings close in while Earth hangs vulnerable in the distance, its 8 billion inhabitants unaware of the horror approaching their world. Choose quickly, the Confluence urges. Surrender now and your species will be incorporated gradually, peacefully. Resist further, and we will make the conversion process educational. That's when Mira makes a decision that changes everything. Her genetic modifications include neural pathways enhanced for processing multiple data streams simultaneously. If Kale interfaces with the Confluence core while she maintains a link to his consciousness, we do it together, she declares, extending her own interface connections. Two minds might be able to resist absorption long enough to introduce the disruption pattern. They join hands as their neural interfaces connect to the ship's biological network. The sensation is like drowning in an ocean of alien thought. Millions of absorbed consciousnesses flowing around them, each one a unique individual ground down into the collective's homogeneous purpose. Fascinating, the Confluence observes as their minds merge with its network. Your neural patterns show remarkable resistance to integration. This will require adjustment. Pain beyond description floods their consciousness as the parasitic intelligence attempts to overwrite their individual thoughts with collective purpose. They experience the memories of 1,000 absorbed species. Feel the weight of civilizations reduced to extensions of an alien will. But humanity has one advantage the Confluence never encountered in its million-year expansion: the ability to maintain individual identity even under extreme collective pressure. Kale and Mira's consciousness remains distinct, 2 points of human defiance in an ocean of absorbed minds. Working together, they introduce a quantum disruption pattern into the network's core frequency. The effect cascades through every connected consciousness simultaneously, creating feedback loops that the Confluence's rigid structure cannot compensate for. Impossible, the collective voice wavers for the first time. Individual consciousness cannot maintain coherence within our integration matrix. You never encountered humans before, Mira gasps as the disruption spreads through the ship's biological systems. We don't integrate, we adapt. The feedback cascade tears through the confluence network like wildfire. Connections severed, communication nodes overloaded. The parasitic intelligence that has consumed galaxies suddenly finds itself cut off from its own body. Throughout the ship, infected beings collapse as their neural controllers burn out from quantum overload. But the victory comes at a price. Kale and Mira's consciousness, stretched beyond human limits during their interface with the alien network, begins to fragment. They have perhaps minutes before their minds scatter into irretrievable pieces. The ship's still heading for Earth, Kale reports through sheer force of will. Navigation systems are independent of the biological network. With their last coherent thoughts, they redirect the vessel away from Earth and toward the Sun. The ancient ship, its control systems failing, begins a final journey into solar fire that will ensure the confluence threat dies with them. Earth Control, this is Lieutenant Mira Thorne. She manages to transmit as their minds slip away. Alien vessel neutralized. Biological hazard contained. Do not attempt recovery operations. The transmission cuts to static as two of humanity's finest soldiers sacrifice their consciousness to save their species. The alien vessel disappears into the sun's corona, taking with it the accumulated knowledge of 17 consumed galaxies and the parasitic intelligence that would have made humanity its next harvest. But their sacrifice reveals something that will haunt Earth's scientists for generations. In the ship's memory banks, they discovered evidence of other confluence vessels scattered across the galaxy, each one carrying the potential to restart the infection process. The threat to humanity hasn't ended. It's only been delayed. Worse yet, the quantum disruption that destroyed this ship also transmitted a signal across interstellar space. Somewhere in the void between stars, other confluence networks received that transmission and learned something that will make future encounters far more dangerous. They learned that humanity exists. Deep in classified archives, Earth's xenobiologists study the data recovered from Kyle and Mira's neural interfaces. What they discover keeps them awake at night. The confluence wasn't just another hostile species. It was evolution's dead end. Consciousness turned cancerous, spreading across the cosmos like a plague of enforced unity. And according to the alien records, humanity's stubborn individualism makes them either the perfect weapon against the confluence or its most dangerous potential convert. The question isn't whether other confluence ships will come. The question is whether humanity can maintain its individuality when faced with a force that has spent 1,000,000 years perfecting the art of mental domination. In the depths of space, ancient vessels drift between stars, carrying parasitic intelligences that dream of the day they will harvest Earth's billions. They know about humanity now, know about the species that destroyed one of their networks through sheer force of individual will. They're adapting their methods, developing new techniques for breaking human resistance. The next encounter won't be a simple invasion. It will be a test of everything that makes humanity unique. Commander Cale Voss and Lieutenant Mira Thorne saved 8 billion lives through their sacrifice, but they also issued a challenge that echoes across the galaxy. Humanity will not go quietly into the collective. The confluence is coming, in numbers that dwarf imagination, with techniques refined by the consumption of countless civilizations. When they arrive, they won't just want to absorb human bodies and minds. They'll want to prove that individual consciousness is nothing more than a disease waiting to be cured. The war for humanity's soul has begun, and the enemy has already won 1,000,000 times before. The only question is whether this time will be different. Whether humanity's greatest strength, its refusal to surrender individual identity even in the face of extinction, will be enough to break a cycle of conquest that has consumed entire galaxies. The answer lies in the darkness between stars, where ancient intelligences plot humanity's assimilation and prepare for a war that will determine whether consciousness can truly triumph over collective domination. The confluence is patient. It has waited 1,000,000 years to perfect its methods. It can wait a little longer to claim its greatest prize, humanity.